my grandfather used to say, it's a white hell out here. Merry Christmas. Hey, time for the weekend review again. As you can tell by the video in the beginning of this, it's very cold in western New York. It was 1 degree last night. I think it's balmy 8 degrees right now with pretty good snowfall. It's cold out, brisk, I guess. It hurts when you breathe in outside, but I had a great Christmas, and I did the Act of Kindness Christmas gifts that opened from Nick and Scott and Dr. Von Chilla, which was awesome, all great stuff. I enjoy sending stuff out and getting stuff is kind of cool. And then I got a bunch of stuff that's, I guess, comic themed or related, I would call it, for Christmas. And it's a lot of stuff, so I thought if I did that all together, I've been trying to keep my videos shorter. It's one of my 2018 things. I want to try to keep my videos under 10 minutes because I know when I'm watching them, I like when they're shorter. So less talking, more showing, I guess. But anyway, a good friend of ours, we met out for a Christmas dinner about a week before Christmas, and she always does a thing where there's table gifts, and I opened mine up, and I got superhero socks. So, people that know me, I do like crazy socks. I have 2 drawers full of socks, and they're all strangely themed. So these are awesome. So that was a good one to get, and that started off the season for me. And then my mother-in-law went online and found something that she knew that I like comics, and I'd never seen these before. It's these blister packs, and it's got some kind of pedigree thing on it, and I don't know what that is. It's just 30,000 of these, and then this one has a number 4,700, but it's looks like it's late 80s, early 90s books themed, so I haven't opened it yet. This is kind of neat though. That's the one where that Spider-Man was published horizontally, and it follows through not just the cover, but the whole way through. Everything's horizontal, so that was kind of cool, and it was thoughtful of her to get that for me. So it was a nice gift. And then Christmas Day, I got a whole bunch of stuff from my oldest daughter and her boyfriend. They went to a local shop where they live, and they found some neat stuff, and they talked to the shop owner and told them what I was into, and they found this little gem. So I guess I'm a figurine collector now. I don't think I have any. I have an old Fantastic Four one. I used to have all the Migos, but they're gone. So that's kind of cool. It's the 90s Deathlock, so I think this would have been Michael Collins by Toy Biz. It's kind of neat, and they show all the rest of them on the back. So that's kind of cool. That was a neat thing. And then they found me a couple issues of the Deathlock run that I believe is Henry Hayes. He was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, I think. So these will be great to read. And I enjoy this one because it has some minor imperfections, some creases on the edge. And I haven't pressed a modern book in quite a long time. So I might just monkey around with that because I can't hurt them. And I'm just going to read them anyway. So that's kind of cool. Then they got me something that's I know in the past I've looked past because it was black and white, and I love black and white now. So they got me the Essential Captain America, and it's thick and it's great. It covers like the first 30 issues of Captain America from 100, I think, through 129, and it's got great Kirby and Steranko art in it. It's just look at the black and white. How freaking awesome is that? You could just see the art so much better. So much better. See if I can find a Steranko page or pages in here. No, it's still too early. Then there's some Gene Colan in here too. Which when I was a kid I really didn't like, but I've grown to like it. I always thought of Gene Colan more as a Dracula artist. This is so awesome. Of course, me talking about it isn't so awesome. There's some Steranko. It's awesome stuff. But this is great, so I think I'm going to pick up more of these. It's a fun way to read them. And then they found something. They talked to shop owner, and they told him I was into kind of different, quirkier stuff. And he recommended this, and it's Jason Youngblood's Weapon Brown. It's a post-apocalyptic future, and it has all of the Sunday morning cartoon, newspaper cartoons in it. His arch nemesis is Calvin and Hobbes, and this is about Charlie Brown in the future and in this fantasy world. And it's got a lot of the characters you'd think of, but that's Charlie Brown there. And the funny thing is I know Jason. He's a local guy. Any of you guys from Western New York have probably met him at cons. He wears a big purple wizard hat, glasses and a beard. He wrote and drew this and got it published all by himself. And I've met him several times. Good artwork. It's a fun story. I haven't read the whole thing yet, so but that was just great gifts to get. And then what else did I get? I got from my brother. He got me these great vintage like stretched canvas on frames, and these are the early Captain America issues, 100 through I think what's that, 193. That's when Kirby came back with the Mad Bomb saga. But it's just great. I can't wait to put that up on the walls here in the den, or as the comic room as everyone started to call it. And then he got me Iron Man, same type of thing. It's kind of neat how it wraps around the edge. And the cool thing is I'm doing a collage with clipped art. It's going to be very similar, so these will fit in nice. But this one's all Iron Man themed, and this book in particular, I remember I hadn't collected Iron Man for quite a long time, and we got this book and we read it, and it was the first time I'd seen Bob Layton and John Romita Jr. together, and I was hooked. I remember I went back and bought all the issues to when they started together, and that's still one of my all-time favorite runs in comic books. Is that run that those two had together? I think Michelini was writing it, but I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. And my wife gave me some stuff. She got me this awesome switch plate, and I'll show it real close. It's a Deathlock switch plate, so I have a plate right here that it's just white, and this will go in there and further deck out my room. And then she went to a comic shop, and it's the same shop that I go and trade my books into. So she went in and told him who she was, and she had my middle daughter with her, and he said, yeah, there's something he's been looking at every time he comes in, and sometimes I have a hard time buying stuff, if I think it's too much to spend on yourself. But she ended up grabbing it for me, and I showed it last night on Chat with Nick and Anthony. But it's the Fantastic Four, or Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four, and it has all of his awesome art in it from that run. I probably will break this out and kind of do a whole episode, behind the covers thing that both Dr. Von Chilla and ETA Nick do a lot, and others do the same thing. But I really can't wait to dig into this one. This one's was very excited to get, and not something I probably would have bought for myself. So that was really, really cool. And my buddy that I talk about a lot, that helps me. We go to cons together, and he's really good at pressing and things like that. He got me a couple of books, and I showed the box, I think, on Christmas morning. He said I would open it up, and the first one he got me is a book he knows I need, and I'm trying to finish. Swamp Thing #2, and it's from what everyone tells me, just a great story arc from 1 through 3, I think it is, and of course it's Bernie Wrightson, and it's beautiful, really nice, great deep colors. It's a flawless looking book, so thanks a lot for that, Mike. You helped me. I'm real close now. I think I need 3 and 4, and I have the run, so that's good. And the next one is real interesting because Mike has seen my video on this about 2018. So one of the books on here he got me, and it's one that I've been looking for, and it's not as easy as you'd think to find, at least not in a decent grade, and not paying what I would consider stupid money for. But he found it and got it for me, and it's Giant Size X-Men #2. It's one of my all-time favorite covers. I just like Sentinels have always been one of my favorite villains, and just the layout and the colors and everything of this is just great. And it's reprints of X-Men 57 through 59, I believe, and it's just from 1975. This is the first X-Men book I bought. I'd seen other ones before, but I remember I was in, I think it was Dawes Drugs that I bought that, and I mentioned Dawes a lot. And in the springtime, it's nicer. I'm going to go there where it used to be. It's no longer there, but that's where I picked that particular book up. I remember my mom or my grandma, somebody was picking up medicine at the pharmacy. So that'll, even though it's not 2018 yet, there's one of the books. So thanks, Mike. You helped me cross off a book on my list. So progress already, and we're not even in the year yet. That's pretty awesome. And then the last thing I'm going to show that I got that I love, and he's done other stuff for me before, is my son. He did that picture for me last Christmas where he did a cover swipe of Avengers 57, only he put me in place of the Vision, wearing one of my trademark plaid shirts, I guess. But this one he did, he took one of my favorite characters, and he inserted me in the place of my alter ego, Luther Manning. And he did a picture of me as Deathlock. And get that a little closer, try to get that glare off. It's just beautifully done. The technique he used is, I forget what they're called, but they're a certain kind of marker that is like a watercolor. And then he pen and inked it afterward. So I love this picture. It's great. So I guess that's what I would look like if I got turned into Deathlock. So it's, I think, a pretty good likeness. I'm glad he left my nose alone. Didn't give me that zombie nose that Luther Manning has. But this will go up in the den, or the comic room, as my family now calls it. So it was a great Christmas. This is the most comic themed stuff I had ever gotten. I think the channel has a lot to do with it. A lot of my friends and family watch this now. And it's neat because they get to see me at least once a week. So, and that got me to thinking about, again, about comics and Christmas and how they're always tied together to me. And at the end of the video here, at the end credits, I'm going to show some pictures of my brother and I on Christmas morning reading comic books that I found at my mom's. And every Christmas I always think of past gifts and things I got, and now this Christmas is going to be no exception. So, and I'm hitting the 12-minute mark, so I guess I just talked too much. I've been continuing the culling process, and I can tell you, for those of you that are maybe on the fence thinking about thinning out your books or not, it gets easier as you go along. You realize there's books that some of them I pick up and I'm thinking, why did I even buy this? And a lot of it is just because it was the completest in me trying to finish a run. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. If I like a particular story or the artwork in it, or maybe just the cover, or it's a time machine for me, and I want that book because it reminds me of a certain thing. I still have most of my originals, but the ones that I don't and I remember that spark memories, I'm going to go out and get them. And they may not be worth that much. They might be a $2 book, but to me they mean a lot. So that's where I'm collecting now, and that's what I'm headed towards. And I think it's a good way to collect. Collect what you love and love what you collect. I think one of the guys on here says something like that. But I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. A lot of videos that I kind of been holding off on. I got to finish the video on the Marvel Value stamp book. I completed that. I'm going to start the collage. I think I'm actually going to start putting some of the cutout artwork onto the format. It's pretty big. I'll show it real quick. It's a giant piece, so it's been hanging there, so it's kind of a constant reminder for me. Every time I walk in here, I see it. So it's been great. Oh, one other thing my wife made me for here. She took some of my old stuff. She took one of my old favorite sweaters and then an old shirt that I used to wear all the time, of course, plaid, and made me a pillow. And it's really cool. It fits in my chair, so now I can sit in here when I'm reading, and it's real comfortable. I can put it behind my head or whatever. So she finished the curtains as well. So I'm in good shape. I kind of have my nice sanctuary or fortress of solitude. I also got a couple record frames, so I'm going to frame up some of my favorite albums, and they're easy access, so I can switch them out a lot. I'm going to hang some of my albums and some of my other movie memorabilia in here as well, I think. So my buddy Mike is working on trying to find some movie memorabilia that I've asked him to look into getting. He knows a couple guys that have some huge collections that they're trying to thin out, so there's some stuff I'm going to try to get from that. We plan on going back to those couple dealers that we went to in Buffalo area. And you know, there's probably a few small cons coming up too. So I think 2018 is shaping up to be a fun year, and I got a bunch of stuff planned out for it. So stay tuned. Recommendations for this week. I'm only 5 episodes into it, but Stranger Things 2 I can recommend. I like it. I know I've seen other reviewers and they say that it's kind of 80s. You know, they kind of beat you over the head with the 80s references, the music, and you know, vote Reagan Bush in '84, and I you know, and I get that, but I still like it. It's still better than 90% of the stuff that's on TV now. Um, and yeah, I guess that's all I can think of right now. I am going to try to check out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick told me last night to check it out, that it's really gotten out there, and I talked to my brother earlier today, and he mentioned it, that said it's gone off the rails, but in a good way. So I've avoided that show for the last 2 years, so I'll probably peek in at that one as well. But that's all I got right now, so I guess until next time, keep reading, keep collecting, and thanks for watching.